we looked at different kind of like scenarios so far, around I. Okay, so we've covered about two classes in which we extensively covered the use of मैं. Okay, and the different cases which you can do around मैं. Okay, we also looked at another kind of like personal pronoun, which is basically mine, and in which we looked at मेरा, मेरी, and मेरे. So we covered two classes just around that and the different scenarios about when to use mera, when to use meri, and when to use mere. Okay. Now, now it gets a little bit complicated as we move further in the class. In today's class, you'll be using basic two complex scenarios of how to use to me. What if, like, in the sentence you want to say to me? How do you say that? Okay. The answer really is mujhko or mujhe. Both of them are interchangeable. So we will look at about eight cases where you can use it. And towards the end of the class, I'll have a write-up for you guys, which will be a little bit challenging, like a scenario. You have to read it and kind of make sense of the scenario. Okay. So with that in mind, the rules are pretty simple. You can always ask me any questions using, Facebook Live as well as on the Google Hangout. Um, and let me just make sure the audio is good on the Facebook front, which it looks like. Perfect. All right, so let's get going, because this is very close to me, this particular topic, and I want to make sure I can share all the tips and tricks that I have around how to use to me. Okay. So in the type 1 scenario, which we have covered in the past also, imagine like you want to express someone that I need something. It could be anything. It could be a place, it could be your hobby, or it could be something that you want to eat. Okay. In all those scenarios, you will be using this construct, I need. Now you may not see to in the entire sentence, but the way you write in Hindi is like, to me, something, whatever you want to say, is needed. That's how you write it in Hindi. Okay. Now, because it's me, it will be मैं plus ko. Okay. So मैं is I and to is, as I said, is nothing but ko. So when you have this post position along with pronoun, personal pronoun मैं, it becomes मुझे or मुझको. And then you will say something that you want, and then you will say चाहिए. Okay. Mujhko, and then you will say like uh, something that you really want, and then you will say chahiye. So let's look at it in a little bit more details and in scenarios. Okay, so we're still in type 1. So you'll say mujhko chahiye. And for those of you who are interested in Devanagari, you can say mujhko. So you have a ma with u, you have a j, you have a k with o, mujhko, and then you have a ch with a, ha with e, and ye chahiye. Okay, mujhko, and then you can say chahiye. Now it could be various scenarios. I mean, sometimes be in the books, in the textbooks, if you read it, you will mostly see examples like mujhko khana chahiye, that I need food. Okay, or you will see scenarios like mujhko pani chahiye. Okay, khana is food and pani is water. But you can use it in many more scenarios, not just like you know khana or pani. Okay, and I want to cover most of those scenarios. What if you want, you are in India or some parts of India and you are stuck and you need help. Okay, you can even say mujhko help chahiye. Okay, Or in Hindi, you will say मुझको मदद चाहिए. Madad is nothing but help, and you will write it as ma and then the madad. Okay, मुझे मदद चाहिए. Okay, and that means help. Um, मुझको पैसे चाहिए. If you are in need of a money, okay, and if you need to borrow some from someone, you can say मुझको money is nothing but पैसे. Paise is most commonly used, even though rupiah is the currency for India, but you will see people using paise. Okay, and you will write it as you have a per with a and then say, sir with a. Okay, मुझको पैसे चाहिए. You can use it in that context as well. Okay, if somebody's serving you something and if you need more, okay, I need more. How will you say that? Let me quiz one of our panelists. So, Carl, how will you say if you need something a little bit more in quantity?
मुझको और चाहिए.
को और चाहिए. Very good, right? So let me write it down. Okay, मुझको और चाहिए, and you'll say AUR. और चाहिए. Okay. What if you can even say ज़्यादा? That's also correct. मुझको ज़्यादा चाहिए. I need more. Okay, and this is nothing but let me write different thing. This is nothing but more. I need more. Okay, so that's all fair. You can even use it for some of the abstract nouns like मुझको प्यार चाहिए. I need love. So that's also fair. Okay, so मुझको, and that's nothing but love, and that's प्यार in Hindi. So half per year with a and then मुझको प्यार चाहिए. Okay. So let me just now erase it and let me ask my panelists other scenarios you can think of. So you want to go, Carl, first about scenarios where you can use or where you have used this construct, in your practice of Hindi.
Yeah, I use this in restaurants or when I'm at the store. So I might say, "Muche lassi chahiye." I want a lassi.
I need the lassi. Okay. What else? Where else?
Uh, I just use it around home for anything when I'm talking to people. So anything I want, I'll just say, pani chahiye. Someone might ask you, "Aapko kya chahiye?" What do you want? You can say like pani chahiye. I want water.
Okay, very good. Anyas, what do you think?
Yes, Sam, you can even say in
Give
the
me just 1
street.
minute. I think I have to unmute you. Try it now.
In the street, you can even say "Mujhko rickshaw chahiye," for example.
मुझे रिक्शा चाहिए. Very good, right?
Yeah.
So let me write it down. It's an important one. Right? So either you can say मुझे टैक्सी चाहिए और मुझे रिक्शा चाहिए. Okay, very good. What else?
मुझको चाय चाहिए.
Okay, मुझको चाय चाहिए.
कॉफी चाहिए. मुझको no sé. मुझको. How do you say medicines? I don't remember.
What?
Medicines.
Medicine. Oh, very good. दवाई.
Alright, दवाई.
मुझको
दवाई चाहिए.
Okay, very good. दवाई. The verb with a and then e. You can even say dawa. That's also correct. Okay. The plural of it works as like dawaiyan, same as ladki and ladkiyan, dawai and dawaiyan. Okay. What else or where else? Let me see how other people are thinking on the Facebook live. Okay, मुझको काम चाहिए, Elena. Very good, right? That's very important. That मुझको काम चाहिए is I need work. Let me write it down. And for other people who are watching live, definitely share where else can you use it. Where else can you use it? So let me So that's another one which is important. मुझे काम चाहिए. काम is like the way you write it is you have a k with a and then you have a m, काम. Okay, and that's basically work. मुझे काम चाहिए. Okay, that's important one. You should remember it. Okay, so that's again we're still on type one. I'm trying to keep it to for this particular pronoun मैं. Okay, but as Carl mentioned, you can use it for pretty much other pronouns as well. So let me erase it and I'll tell you what I mean by that. Um, you can ask questions around it, right? I mean, so far you're using it for मैं. What if you're using it for आप? Okay, and then if you're adding ko after that, you can say आपको. Okay, and you can say either you can use it in a positive way, like आपको चाय चाहिए. Okay, that you need a chai, or you need a taxi, or you can even ask question क्या आपको. Okay, क्या आपको टैक्सी चाहिए. Okay, and the sentence remains the same. आपको टैक्सी चाहिए. What you've done is like you put in the interrogative क्या ahead of the sentence, which means you are being asked these questions. कि आपको टैक्सी चाहिए? Do you need a taxi? You'll probably see if you're in India, if you're traveling on the in the different parts of many cities, you will see like the taxi drivers, they'll ask you a question, taxi चाहिए or rickshaw चाहिए, right? I mean, and there's a tone of like that they're asking you a question. Okay, even though they may not be saying kya, but it's more or less the same thing, right? I mean, it's the same way it works in other languages as well, right? So again, we use it for mujhko. This is one of the example for aapko. Okay. Similarly, I encourage you to use it for other pronouns as well, such as like um, मैं आप हम. Okay, and then वे is hum is we. Okay, and when you say हमको, it's like basically to us. Okay, to us, हमको. Okay, वे is they. If you use it with वे, you will say उनको. Okay, उनको, to them. Okay, if you're using it for वह, like both he or she, with को, it will become उसको. Okay, उसको क्या चाहिए? What does he need or what does she need? Um, the most important one is this. If the pronoun is nothing but this, okay, and which means यह. Okay, यह plus को. Carl, what do you think the outcome is? यह,
Uh, Isco or Usco?
इसको. Very good. इसको. Okay, we have already covered उसको, which is वह plus को is उसको. Okay,
Achha.
यह plus को is इसको. And if you're saying these ये, then it becomes इनको. Okay, इसको. um, so this is a important one. You will see many kind of like sentences starting with isko, right? So you have a e with sir and then k with o, isko. Okay, you'll see a lot of Bollywood songs also using isko, right? So just want to kind of throw it out there. Okay, so that's basically your case number one, type one, where you're using it to kind of say that I need something. Okay, let's move on. So the homework exercise for you is not only limit yourself to the examples I covered in the class. Okay, and not only limit yourself to the pronouns I covered. I want you to take it several steps ahead. Think about more scenarios where you can use it, and think about all the pronouns. Okay, and if you get stuck, you let me know and we'll cover that. Okay, but at least try all the other pronouns. Let's move on. I'll cover type 2 scenarios for mujhko. Where else can you use this pronoun and how to use it? Okay, so let's move on. So type 2 is like when you like something. When you like something. Okay, and when something is pleasing to you. Okay, for example, I like, um, let's say, lassi that Carl mentioned. Okay, I like lassi. Carl, how do you say that in Hindi?
मुझे लस्सी पसंद है.
Very good, right? So you can say mujhe, and then your, as you know, Hindi is SOV, right? So you'll say mujhe, your object is lassi, and you are saying pasand, and then you're saying hai. Hai is the to be form of the verb. So essentially, the construct here is you will pretty much replace the object. Otherwise, the rest of the sentence remains the same. In this case, because Carl he likes lassi, you're saying मुझे लस्सी पसंद है और मुझको लस्सी पसंद है. Okay, you can really replace it with anything you want, and the construct will be completely fine. Okay, you can say मुझे, if you're talking about a particular city, you can say मुझे I like Udaipur or I like Jaipur. You can say मुझे जयपुर पसंद है. Okay, and that will be completely fine. Or it could be a particular monument, like if you are saying about Taj Mahal, you can say मुझे Taj Mahal पसंद है. Okay, it could be about a particular activity. If you like skydiving, okay, or skiing, you can use that also, and you can say I like skydiving, right? And you can say that मुझे skydiving पसंद है, and that's completely fine. So that's activity. Okay, you can even say about a particular destination. If you like beach or something like that, you can say मुझे beach पसंद है, and that will be completely fine. Okay, so I like beach और मुझे beach पसंद है. So this one is rather simple. We have done it in the past as well. Hopefully you shouldn't have difficulty. So I ask everyone, all of you, to kind of think about quick examples around this. So Anyaji, you want to go next? You want to use it in some sentences, and I want everyone else to do the same thing.
Sure. मुझे मुझे नाचना पसंद है.
Okay.
I like to dance.
Okay, मुझे नाचना पसंद है.
मुझे मुर्गी पसंद है.
मुझे
I
मुर्गी
like chicken.
Mhm.
मुझे घूमना पसंद है.
Okay, I like to travel.
I
मुझे
like to travel.
Very good.
मुझे भारत पसंद है. I like India.
Okay, I like India. मुझे भारत पसंद है.
मुझे बात करना पसंद है. I like to talk. I like to converse.
Okay.
ये है.
Okay, great. Paul, you want to try now?
What's that?
You want to use a similar construct? आपको क्या
Sure.
पसंद है?
मुझे कुत्ते पसंद है. I like dogs.
Okay.
मुझे पराठा खाना पसंद है. I like Indian food. मुझे चाय पसंद है.
Okay.
मुझे दिल्ली पसंद है.
Okay.
I like Delhi.
Okay. Nice. Very good. So I have some people participating from Facebook Live as well. Kevin is saying मुझे लिखना पसंद है. I like to write. Very good, right? Similarly, Elena ji is saying is मुझे चलना पसंद है. I like to walk. Some people are saying that give me just 1 minute. My boy just came to me and he's like मुझे पापा चाहिए. So that's he's using the को मुझको क्या चाहिए, right? So anyway, Ilan is saying मुझको लस्सी पसंद है. And anyway, so that covers pretty much. मुझे नदी पसंद है. I like the river. And Kevin ji is also saying मुझे विपासना पसंद है. So it's like particular activity, right? So this is the second scenario, as I said, which is basically you keep the majority of the things here, मुझे पसंद है, and then you replace this part. Again, the homework exercise remains the same. Try to use it with other, pronouns. आपको क्या पसंद है, as simple as that. And उनको क्या पसंद है और इसको क्या पसंद है. You can kind of think about all those pronouns. Okay, now let's look at scenario number 3, and which is something. So far, we've in the previous classes, we've most of the time we've only covered these two scenarios. Now we'll look into the different areas around it. So the type 3 is like where you want to say is like when something has come to you. Okay, in English, pretty much you will say I got or I have, and then you talk about the symptom. Okay, so it's nothing but the type 3 is where you have some sort of a symptoms like a fever or or any kind of bodily symptom. So I'm going to just call it bodily symptom. Okay, so when you say that you have fever, I have fever, let's say, how will you say that, Carl, that I have fever?
I'd say मेरे पास cold है or मेरे पास fever है.
Okay, so so if it is something material, right? I mean that if you want to say that you have laptop, in that case you can say mere paas because something is tangible,
Okay.
right? So then you can say mere paas, I have money, I have like मेरे पास पैसे हैं और मेरे पास लैपटॉप है और मेरे पास फोन है. If it is something like a bodily symptom, in Hindi you use go in those scenarios. Okay, and
Okay.
funny because you don't see to throughout the sentence. To me, the way you will say it in sentence, like to me, and then symptom has arrived or has come. Okay, that's really what it means. So try it again using ko or mujhko.
मुझे fever पहुंच something. I'm not sure.
No. So keep it simple. Like, this is just for example. Mujhko fever.
Mm,
Very simple. To be form of the verb.
okay. Hey.
Very good. Mujhko fever hai. That's it. So you see the difference, right? I mean, again, what your thought process initially was that I have something. You use K pass in certain scenarios when the object is really tangible, right? I mean, I have sweater, mere paas sweater hai, right? I mean, but in this case, because like you're talking about a symptom, you'll say mujhko fever hai or mujhe fever hai. Okay, let
Thank
me
you.
erase it, and so it will be I have, and fill in the blank. Okay, and nothing is like in this same scenario you can really replace fever with anything else, any other bodily symptom. Okay, you can say I have headache, right? I mean, so you'll say mujhko sar dard hai, okay, or mujhe pain hai, and that will be fine. Okay, let me write it down so that you guys know how to write. If it is a pain in your headache, it will be mujhe sir dard है. ओके, मुझे सिर दर्द है और मुझको सिर दर्द है. If it is stomach ache, you will say, what will you say, Carl?
मुझे पेट दर्द है.
Very good, right? So you will be basically मुझे पेट दर्द है. Okay, what about toothache? Anish ji, how will you say that? How will you say I have toothache? No?
No, tooth dot. I don't know. I don't know how to say tooth.
That's right, right. You're right. So what will you say? मुझे tooth is दांत. You're right about it. You will say मुझे दांत में दर्द है, और you can say मुझे दांत दर्द है, right? So sometimes you'll say दांत में दर्द है in tooth. Okay, मुझे दांत में दर्द है. Okay. I'm not using the verb here called lagna because a lot of time you will see lagna in those scenarios that I'm feeling cold. Okay, we are not there yet where you can use verb. I mean active verb. So far you're simply using the verb which is the to be form of the verb. Hai. Okay. But in scenarios where you are feeling something that I'm feeling cold, there also you can use it. But that's the next scenario. So I hope this is clear. Let me ask you guys what other scenarios you can think of. What other bodily symptoms you can describe using this construct. Carl, you want to go next, and then I'll go to Agnes ji.
मुझे हाथ दर्द है. I have a sore hand.
Okay, मुझे हाथ में दर्द है. Okay, that's right. So you can say मुझे हाथ में दर्द है. You can even say मेरे हाथ में दर्द है. Okay, that will be fine too. Agnes ji, you want to try?
Sorry, I'm bad for body parts, but I could say मुझे nose dard hai. I don't know how to say nose.
क्या है मुझे?
Nose or ears dard hai, but I don't know how to say.
और दर्द है. Okay, नाक में दर्द है. Okay. So nose you can say नाक. मुझे नाक में दर्द है. I'm just thinking where else, like some of the other scenarios I can give you without dard. But I want to see if you can think of it before me. Okay. Let's see if folks on Facebook can think of some more scenarios. मुझे सर्दी है. Very good, right? I have cold. मुझे सर्दी है. So I have cold is मुझे. I got cold. सर्दी है. Okay, मुझको सर्दी है और मुझे सर्दी है. Again, these two scenarios you can use it with verb लगना also, that मुझे सर्दी लग रही है, that I'm feeling cold, और मुझे गर्मी लग रही है, I'm feeling hot. Okay. Or even other kind of feelings, like if you're feeling nauseous, you can use those examples as well. Okay. Or you can say मुझे घबराहट हो रही है. Okay, that's correct too. Okay, anyway, so that's type 3 where you can use mujhko, and the idea behind that is to describe your bodily symptom. Okay, we'll move on, and you will use it for when you have information about something. So that's scenario number 4, type 4. Okay, and when you know something, or when you have information about something, when you have information about something. Okay, so there also you use mujhko. Okay, let's say, and this is straightforward, but I want to really use the applications around it. So you want to say I know. Just say as simple as I know. Okay, how do you say that, Agnes ji? I know.
मैं जानती हूँ.
Okay, मैं जानती हूँ. That's the one way of saying it. मैं जानती हूँ. What you have done here is, like, you looked at the sentence and you said it's a present indefinite tense, and this is I, so it's going to be मैं. Okay, and to know is janna, so accordingly I did the verb conjugation and I said that's one way of saying it. Now you want to use mujhko. Okay, to me this is known. Okay, that's another way of saying it. It's a little bit complicated. Rather than keeping it simple, you are saying it to me.
मुझे जानती है. जान
To me,
जानता है.
Something is known. मुझे, okay, that's good try. You want to try it, Carl?
Yeah, sure. मुझे मालूम है.
Okay, okay, मुझे मालूम है. So you said to me is मुझे और मुझको, and then you said मालूम and you said है. Okay, मालूम. So that's correct. You can say मुझे मालूम है. That's one way of saying it. Or you can say मुझे पता है, मुझको पता है. Okay, that's correct as well. So let me erase it. And so मालूम is nothing but you will say ma with a and you will la with u. मालूम है. Okay. Second one is pata. You have a p and you have a t with a. मुझको पता है. And this pata is nothing. It's not the address one. Okay. It really means that you are aware of something, either an event or a skill or some information. Anything is fine in this case. So you will see this sentence used quite frequently, like मैं जानती हूँ is also used, but you will see मुझको पता है, pretty much in many conversations you will observe that मुझको पता है. Okay, so let me erase it and write it down more simply. Okay, so if your sentence is I know, there are many ways to say it. Like one is, as Anesh ji mentioned, मैं जानती हूँ. That's number one. Second one is, as Carl mentioned, मुझे मालूम है. मुझे मालूम है. Okay. Third one is मुझे पता है. Okay. You will also see, like, if you're not aware of something, you will see examples like मुझको नहीं पता. Okay. Sometimes people don't, especially the native speakers, they won't even end with hai because it's implied, even though you're not saying it. Like, for example, my mom, like, she'll often ask me, like, for certain things. And, as a kid, I used to be like, oh, mujhe nahi pata, right? And that's it. You will end the sentence and you'll end the conversation. And that's how, as a teenager, we were, right? I mean, like, mujhe nahi pata. So that's mujhe nahi pata. And either you can say hai at the end, or even if you don't say it, it's implied. मुझे नहीं पता or मुझे नहीं मालूम. Even the sentence that Carl mentioned, hai is implied. Okay, मुझे नहीं मालूम. So even though you know about certain things, the default answer is मुझे नहीं पता, because you love to give hard time to your mom, right? So anyway, what about you guys? You tell me, where will you use it? Tell me about certain things where you will use मुझे पता है. Carl?
Yes. Often people ask me for directions, and I just say मुझे नहीं मालूम है. Like,
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. मुझे नहीं मालूम है. You can even say मुझे नहीं पता. So try.
Is pata better?
Huh?
Is pata better in that situation?
So both of them are correct actually. Okay.
Okay.
I just want you to try it just so that you are increasing your vocabulary. Okay. And you are trying to see if people's reaction it changes. Malum you're comfortable with, right? So from your perspective, you should really take some more risk and see if you
जी.
can use like मुझे नहीं पता.
बिल्कुल.
What about you, Anyash ji?
As well as if someone asks you for time, if you have time, if you have the time, I mean, and if you don't have it, then you say
मुझे नहीं पता.
मुझे नहीं पता.
Okay. Let me ask you this thing. गाना की कैपिटल क्या है?
Where? Ghana?
गाना की कैपिटल क्या है?
मुझे नहीं पता.
Good. मुझे नहीं पता. You got it, right? That's how you say it, right? So I'm going to quiz you more and more on this thing, okay? Um, let's see how Elon is saying it. Okay, Matt. Okay, so let's say if somebody's asking you the name of a dish, and that's what Elon is saying, that if you go to a restaurant and somebody's serving your dish and people you're with, they're asking you what's the name of this dish, and Elon is saying मुझे नहीं पता और मुझे इस डिश का नाम नहीं पता. Okay. Um, okay. So so the sentence you wrote, Elon, it's like मुझको, if you know, so there's a confusion here, right? I mean, sometimes if it is about a particular skill, okay, and if you know about it, you will use a word called आना. Okay, you will say मुझे नाचना आता है और मुझे डांस आता है. Okay, that's a different one. We are not going there yet. Verb, I'm not. So far, we're still on scenario number 4. You'll probably not see a lot of verb except the to be form of the verb. But just to clarify your doubt, if you're talking about, like, if I know swimming, I will not say मुझे swimming. I mean, you can say it मुझे swimming पता है, but the right way of saying it is like मुझे swimming आती है. Okay, और मुझे cricket आता है. Okay, और मुझे skiing आती है. I know skiing. So that's how you'll say it. I hope that clarifies it. Okay, Kevin G is saying is like, मुझे एक इमारत के बारे में इस इमारत के बारे में पता है और इस इमारत के बारे में मालूम है. Okay, so I think, so another example, Ilan ji, you mentioned, is मुझे खाना बनाना पता है लेकिन आता नहीं है. Okay, that I know about it but I don't know how to make it. Okay, I'll probably simplify the sentence a little bit more. Okay, मुझे, let me write it down just so that I'm trying to deconstruct your sentence a little bit more. Okay, you can say I, and help me here just to make sure I'm writing your sentence correctly. You're saying I know cooking. If you're simply saying cooking, okay, you'll say मुझको, and we're not there yet, right? मुझको खाना बनाना आता है. You'll use it, and this is nothing but cooking. Either you can say मुझे cooking, and I think, what, let me just keep it simple. मुझे खाना बनाना आता है. Okay, because in this case it's like, खाना बनाना is masculine singular. That's why it's आता. However, it get confusing if you're using it for cooking. So you can say in that case मुझे cooking आती है. मुझे cooking आती है. Okay. Similarly as मुझे swimming आती है. I know swimming. मुझे swimming आती है. Or as like, मुझे knitting आती है. Okay. That's how you will use it. We'll cover it in the more, like, when we go to the verb section. But I just want to kind of like, make you aware that, if you know of a particular information, right, that's when you will say मुझे पता है और मुझको नहीं पता है. Okay, that's type number 4. We'll jump to the next one because we still have about so I'll probably cover one more type and then we'll jump to the scenario that we have, and the remaining types we can cover it in the next class. Okay, so type number 5 I have is when you want to describe some of the abstract nouns. Okay, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. And it's when you want to describe abstract nouns. Okay, it sounds such a complicated word, right? It is not. When you want to say I have, so I mean it's something similar we covered when we said I have cold and I have fever or stomach ache and toothache. Those are not really abstract noun, but if you want to, and you will say it in India quite a lot, like especially if you're speaking with native speakers, they'll use the words quite a lot, like I have faith. Okay, faith, it's an abstract noun. Okay, similarly, like I have hope or I hope. Okay, I hope is also they use it, right? I hope. Or I have worry or I worry. Okay, similarly, like happiness. These are all abstract nouns. Now, how do you say it in Hindi? Okay, um, using mujhko. I mean, there are other ways to say it. मैं खुश हूँ. That's one way of saying it without using mujhko. Okay, so let me write it down, the one way of saying it, and then I'm going to ask you how to say the other way. Okay, so the first one is like मैं खुश हूँ. मैं खुश हूँ. I am happy. Okay. Now you want to say to me there is happiness. Okay. I'm forcing you to use the post position ko in this case. How do you say that, Carl?
I have happiness.
Yeah.
I would say it might be wrong. मुझे खुश लग रही है.
Don't use the. Let's not use the lagna to feel like.
Okay. I don't know, but I maybe मुझे खुश है.
मुझे
खुश है.
Okay, मुझे खुश है. Anish ji, what do you think?
I would say मुझे खुश लगी है.
मुझे
खुश लगी है.
Okay. We've not covered in the past, right? I mean, we may have like briefly skimmed through it, but so you will say मुझे खुशी है. Okay. There's a difference. Khush is happy. Khushi is happiness. Okay. I have happiness. So मुझे खुशी है. Okay. Is that clear? So you'll say this is the simple one way of saying it. So far we have mastered this one. This is like when you want to really use मुझको or मुझे. Okay. मुझे खुशी है. Okay. That's one example. Okay. The second one is like I have hope. Like when you're sick and or you're writing for an exam, and somebody's saying you that I'm confident or I hope that you will succeed. So you'll say मुझे उम्मीद है. उम्मीद है. Okay. उम्मीद है. मुझे उम्मीद है. That I'm hopeful that you will succeed. Okay, that's another way of saying it. You can even say I have faith, right? How do you say that? I have faith. Other way of saying it is like मुझे आशा है. Asha is nothing but again like another way of like you are describing hope or your faith around it. मुझे आशा है. Okay, और मुझे उम्मीद है. Okay. You want to say I have worry. You will say मुझे परेशानी है. So if you were to go by the older scenario, you will say मैं परेशान हूँ. I am worried. मैं परेशान हूँ. That's मैं परेशान हूँ और मैं दुखी हूँ. Okay, that's how you'll say it. It's like मैं परेशान हूँ. You will say in this case मुझे परेशानी है. Okay, मुझे परेशानी है. Or you will say मुझे दुख है. Okay, मुझे दुख है. If somebody has shared some news with you which is not so pleasant, you will express your regrets and you will say I am sorry. Okay. That's how you'll say मुझे माफ कीजिए, or in this case you'll say मुझे दुख है, like I'm sorry to hear that, मुझे दुख है. Okay. मुझे परेशानी है, if you are in pain or you're in trouble, you say मुझे परेशानी है. Okay. If you're proud of something, you will say I am proud. Okay. I am proud. And again, proud is nothing but an abstract verb, in this abstract noun. Okay. And you will say मुझे गर्व है. Okay. And proud is how you'll say it. मुझे गर्व है. Okay. मुझे गर्व है. And the way you will write it, you have a g and then you have a v with r on top. गर्व. मुझे गर्व है. Okay. Let's say your son or daughter or friends, they accomplish something and you're really proud of them. You say I'm proud and मुझे गर्व है. Okay. Uh, was this new to you, Carl and Agnes, or you've done it before?
Yeah, this was new to me.
Okay. Agnes ji?
Yeah, new to me too.
Okay. Are you comfortable? How is it? You feeling more confident?
Yeah,
I am.
Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is, because Anya ji particularly requested we should do scenarios, the next section is going to be a little bit challenging. Okay. I'll write you a quick Hindi paragraph and you have to read it and you have to deconstruct it and tell me what it means. Okay. So stay with me. It might come across like a boring section, but essentially it's going to challenge you. It's going to challenge you to make sense of the entire, the case that we have here. So in this case, I'm going to change the name. Right now I have in my example I have John and Mia. I'm going to change it to Carl and Agnes. Okay. And basically Carl is not feeling well, and he's sick and he's asking Agnes about a medical store. That's the scenario we have. Okay. So stay with me. It may be challenging, but that's where you learn more. So read it as I'm writing it. So Carl is saying, मेरी तबीयत अच्छी नहीं है. Okay. So मेरी तबीयत अच्छी नहीं है. मुझे और मुझको बुखार है. ओके. मेरी तबीयत अच्छी नहीं है, मुझको बुखार है. And then Agnes ji is saying, क्या तुमको और क्या आपको दवाई चाहिए? क्या आपको दवाई चाहिए? Okay. And Carl is saying, हाँ, क्या आपको पता है मेडिकल स्टोर कहाँ है? हाँ, क्या आपको, क्या आपको पता है? क्या आपको पता है मेडिकल स्टोर कहाँ है? So I'm just gonna write store कहाँ है just to save the space here. क्या आपको पता है स्टोर कहाँ है? Okay. क्या आपको पता है स्टोर कहाँ है? And Anish ji is saying, हाँ, मुझे पता है, अस्पताल के पास है. हाँ, मुझे पता है. I'm gonna again say मुझे पता है. ओके. अस्पताल के पास है. And this is again like I'm writing it very very tiny, but just follow my words. अस्पताल के पास है. Okay. अस्पताल के पास है. And in this case now Carl is going to the medical store guy and Carl is asking him, भैया मुझको दवाई खरीदनी है. And भैया मुझको दवाई, and we have not gone through the scenario yet, but मुझको दवाई खरीदनी है. And the medical store guy, I'm just gonna refer him as MS, medical store guy. He's saying, आपको okay, so he's giving him the दवाई and saying आपको यह दवाई पानी के साथ लेनी है. आपको यह दवाई पानी के साथ लेनी है. आपको यह दवाई पानी के साथ लेनी है. And the guy is saying again that मुझको उम्मीद है आप कल तक ठीक हो जाओगे. So I wrote it pretty fast. Again, the idea here is so that your brain works faster. As I'm writing it, you are not only reading it with me, but also trying to process it and trying to make sense of it. Okay. So I want really both of them to role play it. I'm going to play the role of a medical center guy. Okay, medical store guy. So let's start with here, Carl.
So you want me to read it in Hindi or translate it to English?
So no, just read it as like we are the actual players. So you are Carl, Anish ji, and then I'm the medical center guy.
ठीक है. मेरी तबीयत अच्छी नहीं है. मुझको बुखार है.
क्या आपको दवाई चाहिए?
हाँ. क्या आपको पता है स्टोर कहाँ है?
हाँ, मुझे पता है. अस्पताल के पास है.
भैया मुझको दवाई खरीदनी है.
ये लो दवाई. आपको ये दवाई पानी के साथ लेनी है. ओके. और मुझको उम्मीद है आप कल तक ठीक हो जाओगे. Short sentence. Now let's try to say it in English. The translation. Carl? You want to start now? You want to translate it.
I think his network cut.
Connection. Okay, so some problem with the network. Okay, so let's start with that. मेरी तबीयत अच्छी नहीं है. What do you think it is?
My health isn't good.
Okay. I use this sentence particularly because we have done it in the past, in the previous classes. मेरी, right? Now, मुझको बुखार है.
I have fever.
I have fever. Okay. Now, you want to go next?
क्या आपको दवाई चाहिए? Do you want some medicine?
Do you want some medicine? And then?
And then, yes. I think so. I mean, I think I need that.
Okay. क्या आप
medical store कहाँ है? Where is the drugstore, the store for medicines?
Yeah. What about this? क्या आपको पता है?
For me, it means yes. I think I need. Yes, I know I need.
So क्या आपको पता है? So this is the question mark again, right? So क्या आपको पता है? Do you know? Okay. So that's what you're saying. Do you know where is the medical store? Okay. So the reason I emphasize it so that you can use it in other scenarios as well. क्या आपको पता है? Do you know this?
Okay.
Okay. Right. Keep going.
हाँ, मुझे पता है. Yes, I know. अस्पताल के पास है. The hospital is close to here.
Close to?
Is close. I mean, is near.
Near, what is hospital?
Hospital.
Hospital, very good. It's close to the
It's near the hospital. Oh,
near
sorry.
the hospital. Awesome. Yep.
Yeah. Bhaiya mujhko dawai kharidni hai. So Carl says that he to the man that he needs to buy medicine.
Okay. So bhaiya is nothing but brother. मुझे दवाई खरीदनी है. खरीदना is to buy. Okay. खरीदना is to buy. Uh, you've not gone to this case yet. We'll cover it in the next class when you try to use mujhko with a with a verb. Okay, but essentially mujhko is to me medicine. It's dawai. A dawai is basically medicine. Kharidna is to buy. Okay, that I need to buy a medicine.
Medicine.
Yeah. Keep going.
आपको ये दवाई पानी के साथ लेनी है. This medicine is to be taken with water.
Okay, yeah. So you used a passive voice. It's really the active voice. You need to take this medicine with water.
Yeah.
Okay, right?
मुझको उम्मीद है. So we've seen that it's. I have hope that आप कल तक ठीक हो जाओगे. That it will. Everything will be okay tomorrow.
Very good. Awesome. So that's it. So you probably have seen in this write-up, I've used mujhko pretty extensively, right? The use of ko. So you've seen pretty much in every sentence here, 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 and here. Okay. And the idea here is to again force yourself to use and feel better with using the co construct, which co. Okay. I encourage you to watch this lecture again if you missed it, and if something is not clear. We'll continue with the same topic again next class because there are more scenarios where we can use mujhko. Okay. With that in mind, thanks so much for everyone who joined the class today. We'll meet again next Sunday. The time has changed again, just to let you know. If you don't observe the daylight savings, the class may be 1 hour earlier than the regular schedule for you. So I hope to see you in the next class. Okay, thanks everyone. We'll stop the broadcast and we'll take any questions that you